Hey everyone, thank you for watching at One Last Question. My name is Carrie. I'm here with Pam, my friend, used to be my cousin-in-law, I would say. But different format today. We're not, going through like the computers. We're actually face to face. So we're just gonna sit here and have a conversation. If you want to hang out with us, that's cool. So that's it. We have no topic. We're just gonna talk.
Just gonna
all right?
let it go, yeah.
There you go. So, let's start with what? What do you want to talk about? Well, first off, we've talked about a lot of other stuff.
We were just talking for 2 hours.
I know. I didn't record any of it. So stupid. Some of that we were talking about family. We were talking about menopause, medication, because I'm psych meds like Wellbutrin and stuff like that. We were talking about the head. I called them like, what did I call it? It was like, it's like a head tremor or something like that. It would make like this noise. Yeah, like a surge like in your brain. We were talking about that, which is cool because I didn't have a lot of people that understood like what I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So
I didn't believe you.
What do we want to talk about?
I don't know. Let's see.
One, your earrings and your necklace match perfectly.
Thanks.
I mean, it really does.
Buffalo Bills.
I didn't know. I saw that. I didn't notice that. That's really cool.
It's the lotion on the skin. Else it gets the hose again.
Stop it. Oh my god. Where did you get that?
Either Temu or Shein.
Oh my gosh.
That's where I get all my clothes anymore.
That is so wild. My niece, I call her my niece. She's my grand niece, I guess, but I call her my niece. She just turned 1. Her name is Frankie Jean. She's actually named after my mother, which was like a whole weird thing that I went through.
I watched that interview.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know which one you're talking about. Which one? I said that? See?
Yeah,
I just say stuff I don't remember. It's so weird.
You were talking to... I don't remember who you were talking to. She had brown hair, I think.
Okay. I said something about how it's weird.
You were just talking about moms.
Wild. Yeah, my mother's real name was Frankie. And my niece Carly had a baby and named her Frankie Jean, which was my mother's name. But getting back to the shirt, because I get whatever.
I digress.
I made these shirts because she turned 1. It was her birthday, and I got her one of those battery operated cars.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a Volkswagen Beetle.
Like a Power Wheel?
Yes. Yeah, but it's a Volkswagen Beetle. And it was so cool that they could actually control it, like by remote, because she's only 1. Yeah. Because she's only 1.
Yeah.
She can't drive it, but they can actually control it.
That's cool.
And their Bluetooth from their phone connects to it, and so it can play music. I was like blown away. Like, I knew what I wanted to get, but when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, that's so crazy. So I got her a Volkswagen Beetle, like, car, but I got these shirts that say, well, I'm a Marilyn Manson fan, big time, right? And Marilyn Monroe, obviously. So I got these shirts from Redbubble.
Yeah. I've never been on it, but I know what you're talking about.
And it says 100% Marilyn, sometimes Monroe, sometimes Manson. So her shirt's like this big, and like mine's adult size. It's just like the cutest thing.
That's
so
cool.
Hopefully over the summer we'll be able to take pictures of it. Because you told me, Carly, that you would. You told me I could have one picture, so thank you. Anyway, it just reminded me of that when you said that. That is really cool. It rubs the lotion on its skin. Does so whenever it's told. I think that movie is quoted so much.
A lot of people don't know.
Really?
Well,
a lot of the people that I hang out with know that movie.
all the people that were babies are now adults now, so they don't know.
Okay, yes,
You
true.
know,
True. It's kind of like when I explained to Lennon what a phone booth was when he was young.
Yeah.
He's like, huh?
I don't see you at all in there. I don't know.
Really? This is fine.
Okay.
I don't care. It's fine. Yeah, when he was young, I said something about a phone booth. He's like, "What is that?" And I had to explain to him, like, "Well, it's a little glass box that was in the middle of the sidewalk,
Yeah.
and all this stuff." And he was like, looking at me. Well, he made faces. The kid. I was just like, like doing stuff like that. But yeah, it was funny. So they have no clue.
I know it's kids born in 2020 are turning 25 this year, which is just crazy.
That is wild.
Because to me, the 90s was 10 years ago.
I know. I tell Jay all the time, I'm like, man, I was good in the 90s, man. Like, it was my jam.
Yeah.
I did it good. I fit right in there. Late 90s, like, well, maybe not late, no, mid 90s, like 94, 93, 94, that type of thing.
Everything was so colorful, and now everything is so gray and boring and sad. Everything.
That's weird you say that.
Going like Taco Bell, everything was.
That is so weird. That not that you're weird. That's so odd to me that you say that because, and you're not the only one. I never saw that as colorful. I always saw it as dark and drab.
Really?
Yes.
I would say like 70s. Everything was brown.
Very strange. No, I saw it like gray and dark, but I was like more like back then they called it alternative, I guess. But that's how I saw things. I never like so when like I'll see something and be like, oh, that's so 90s, and it's like bright colors and stuff. I'm thinking like, what are they talking about?
We didn't dress like.
Yeah.
It was like the world itself, like. People would get new carpet and it was like maroon, or like green, or.
No, I never paid attention.
No, everything.
That's so
everything
wild.
was so colorful.
I totally know you're right because they make fun of that, like on TV or.
They call it like millennial gray is what they call like how everything is.
That's so weird.
Like everything is renovated and then they paint everything gray. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it that they do that. Like
that's crazy.
Yeah, like my floors in my house, we put floors in and they're gray and I hate them.
Why do you hate? Because they're gray.
Why'd
you put them in?
I don't know because I think at the time I liked it. I liked them at the time.
Funny.
But I don't know. Maybe it was.
Are you saying that you're drawn to like grays and darks?
No, it's just like everything now is gray.
Oh, now.
Like
okay.
They redid all the inside of the McDonald's and they're all gray.
Oh,
now,
I see what you're saying.
Like,
I see what you're saying.
Everything is so. They got rid of all the color.
Is that called
anything?
Chrono? Isn't there a word for that? Chrononomadic, something like that.
Maybe. I don't know.
Chronomagnetic, where it's like one color upon one color and then
monochromatic.
Is that what that is?
I don't know. I don't know.
Obviously, I don't either. That's weird.
But yeah, like everything had color in the 90s. Now everything is like drab and gray and like I don't know. Makes me think of like a dystopian.
I never noticed that. I really didn't. Growing up, I never noticed it.
Well, at the time, like we didn't notice how everything had color because that's just what life was.
True.
And then but looking back, like the windbreakers and they were all like turquoise with, turquoise was really big, teal and turquoise and.
Well, I guess that's kind of cool. Like I can go to like a thrift store and I can see like a dress or something and go, oh, that's from the 80s or oh, that's from the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I can see what you're saying.
And now everything is like farmhouse gray. Like everything is a shade of 50 shades.
But not with all the good stuff.
Yeah, no,
it's hilarious.
It's
like 50 Shades of Grey.
But prude.
But prude.
It's 50 shades.
That's hilarious. That is so funny. You're right. That's funny. I never thought about that. That's so funny. All right. So I know we said we don't want to specifically name names and stuff, but the conversation was really interesting that we had about families and how they you know, like, I'm trying to say it. Okay. So like how they act a certain way, even if like they're not that, like, okay. So I said that my family
we're huggers.
acted very Italian.
Oh.
But they're not. They
Yeah.
acted like full-blooded Italian, but
Yeah.
they're not. And so I always said they compensated for it.
Yeah.
Sorry. But so going overboard.
Yeah.
Right? But it's funny because it's
Forget
like I
about
have
it.
so many like good memories of them acting like that. And I don't know. It's weird. I just think it's weird that like you can think that you're something, right? And if you, like you said with I don't want to talk for you. Like my nephew was like, I don't have any Italian in me when he did that bloodline thing, the ancestry thing.
Yeah.
But he lived his life thinking like he has some of it in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like my kids do. I think they do the same thing. Like they think like, oh, there's a little bit of Italian in me. I think it has some like weird.
Well, as I've heard that like Americans, I've heard are like obsessed with what they're made of.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah,
Where,
it's
like,
weird.
The rest, but we don't have culture here. Like we only have what somebody brought over a long time ago. We don't have
it's weird.
We don't have like a rich culture. Even like in the South, they have more. Like, we're in the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're the gray McDonald's of the nation.
True.
Like, we don't have
that's
culture of anything, you know?
Do you have, like, ancestors and stuff that you know of, like, that came over?
My grandma said, and I don't know, she wouldn't talk about it.
Yeah, what is your guys' nationality? I don't even know, and I married your cousin. I have no idea.
We were always told that it was, like, French, English, Danish, but then when my sister took her ancestry DNA test, we found out we were Polish. We never knew that we were Polish. We had, I don't know, it was just like Central European, like just.
That's wild.
Just your.
I've never taken one of those tests before. I want to, I'm being lazy and I haven't.
I took one that like I had never heard of because I wanted to see if I still had any relatives like in Ireland or wherever.
Mm-hmm.
So
Go ahead.
I took I looked up to see what the most popular one in Europe was because of the database, because they need to just merge like all the databases, but I wanted a bigger database in Europe than in the US. So I took one, and it was one of the cheaper ones. It wasn't broken down like how my sister did.
Oh, I see.
My sister did 23andMe, and that like broke it down like all the way down to thousands of years ago, and it like mine wasn't like that.
I've watched this like YouTuber, and she said she did 23andMe, and it like broke it down to like caveman or like right?
Yeah, like
that's
Neanderthal
crazy.
DNA. Yeah, mine wasn't like that at
That's
all.
crazy that they can do that.
Yeah, and like I think we were like 0.4% like sub-Sahara Africa, which I believe like everybody that's
obviously
like where humans came from, but
right.
Yeah,
I think that stuff's real though.
Like sub-Sahara.
Well, right, like they can really go that far. I kind of doubt it. Like that's a lot. Like how can you go back that far?
Well,
maybe
because you're
just because I spit in a little thing and mailed it. Do you think that shit's real?
Well, maybe because they're not going. Maybe because they're not going back.
I'm being serious.
Like they're not going back with people. They're going back in your DNA. So if it's like a common shared.
But you don't send a blood sample.
Still your DNA. You can get your DNA from.
What do they ask you for? Like spit?
You have to swab.
Right. Okay.
But I mean, it's still your.
It's strange.
Still your DNA. They can get DNA from.
Yeah, to go back to like caveman times.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm a little skeptical.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wanted to do it, but I was kind of. I would say I was more cheap. I didn't want to spend the money on
Yeah,
it.
well, and that's what I did too, because I was like, well, I don't want to pay like $150 or whatever. So I did the janky one, and I got janky results.
You're funny. Okay. All right. So I'm trying. Listen, I'm trying hard to like make this look natural because right now it's not natural. But let's talk about children. I know you recently got married.
A couple years. It'll be 3 years this July.
Are you kidding?
It's been that long.
Wow.
I think that was the last time I saw you.
You're right. It was. It was the last time. At your wedding.
Yeah. So.
Which your wedding dress was so pretty. It really was. I've never seen a wedding dress like that before. You looked so like, you know, like they have those pictures of like those fairies and stuff.
Ethereal is the word you're looking for, I think.
I've never even heard that word, but that I believe you.
Well, it was a custom sort of dress.
Really?
But it was from Amazon.
Stop it.
Yeah, it was I think with shipping and everything, it came to like $290.
That's cool. I ordered, when I got married, I ordered mine from the JCPenney's catalog. That was in 1999.
I remember parts of your wedding. I remember being outside. I remember like throwing the Rice Krispies or whatever it was.
What did we have? Oh, we rang bells.
Oh, yeah.
We rang bells, that's what it was. Because there was a thing out there that you couldn't throw rice because they said that birds would like blow up.
And then I remember saying something to you, and you were like, what did you say? You were like, yeah, whatever. Weddings are a big deal for everybody else, or something like.
Stop.
You were like, weddings are for everyone else to make a big deal.
Okay. I probably did.
But
this is really bad.
Well, because
that's horrible.
You were probably nervous because I don't remember.
I was 22 when I got married.
But like, I don't remember. Did we like do any hanging out before you were married?
I wouldn't say hanging out. We did more after when I had Lennon, because you used to babysit. Yeah. You used to babysit for me sometimes. Yeah. Jeff and I would go out. Mm-hmm. So no, I mean, I think I would see you at like family things, like if Linda and Buddy had like people for like 4th of July or something, like, you know, those type of things. But no, we didn't really hang out really. You were very awkward and like.
I'm still very awkward.
I know, but like when I saw you when you walked in, I meant it when I was like, you look like a woman. Like you look so different. You really do.
Well, I've lost weight.
I know you think that's what it is.
I don't know.
And no, there's something. It's like it's wild. You have a different energy.
I do.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I saw when you walked in. That's why it was like kind of like shocking to me. Because I told you, he asked me, well, how old is she? And I said, late 20s.
No.
So when you're like,
I'll be 40.
40s. I'm like, what?
No.
Like almost 40? Yeah,
I'll be 40 this year.
It was crazy. Shit. See, I forget what I'm talking about.
Kids. Talking about kids. Oh no,
you said the wedding, the marriage. See, I'm horrible.
I'm not into it either.
This is not a good idea.
Well, you said so you said on the phone that there was a reason that you wanted me here, and you were going to tell me. You didn't want to tell me over the phone.
Oh, okay. I watched this YouTuber, and she was talking about after she had her son, because her son has like autism and stuff now, and she was feeling guilty, and so she was talking about she felt she might have caused this because of how she was acting like during birth and stuff like that. But she was saying afterwards she was really depressed.
Yeah.
And so she was a Scientologist at the time, and they don't
they
believe
just
in things like that.
They just give you vitamins, and
they don't believe in words like depressed, like that. You just whatever.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of when you and I and your mom were at breakfast, and we were talking about. You said I said something like. And I was like, I did?
Oh,
like, remember
when Lennon?
Yes. That I wanted to, like, die?
Drive off a bridge. You were about to go over a bridge.
But I didn't.
You wanted to drive over.
Yeah,
you wanted to drive
weird.
off the side, and you looked in your mirror, and you saw him back there, and then...
That's what didn't do it. Yeah, and I have no memory of that. No memory of that thought. But I do have a memory... I think I told you then. I remember pulling in my garage and thinking, okay, let's just do that. And then I thought, he's there. I'm not going to do, no, I can't do that because he was in the back seat.
Yeah.
And then that was it. That was like the only thought, okay. And then everything was whatever. You just stifle it, right? So it just made me think of that. And it's wild that I said that I had that thought and I don't remember it. It still makes me feel guilty. Like,
yeah, I had postpartum psychosis.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
It's like postpartum depression, but you want to like hurt your baby.
Oh, okay.
Like when you hear of like mothers like drowning their kids, and so I didn't know what it was at the time either, and I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want someone to take her from me.
Of course.
But I remember like,
wow, that's wild.
And I feel so guilty now.
Of course.
And it wasn't
that's
like
how I feel.
And it wasn't like it was a constant thing either. It was just like waves.
Exactly. With me too. Right. Like you had an urge.
It wasn't even I don't know if it was like, maybe it was more resentment.
Yeah.
Because not that I was super young, I was 23, but I went from working long enough to make money to party, and then quitting, and then partying, and staying out and doing what I wanted. And I went from that to, you're having a baby.
Yeah.
And, and then like my life was falling apart.
Yeah, your situation.
Because I had to move back home. And
yeah, it's wild.
I think I was just mad. I was mad at myself. And just poor thing. She's my crash test. I didn't know what I was doing. The only baby experience I had was babysitting for you, which I'm pretty sure
Really?
Oh, I had no experience with children at all. None.
I mean, like after it. That's wild.
I probably put Lennon's diaper on backwards, and
yeah, you did one time.
Yeah,
I do remember. I remember that. You said you were changing his diaper. He pooped. You don't remember this, do you? And you said you were like, whatever, you changed him, whatever, and you kept smelling poop.
Oh, was this when I had my nails done? Oh my god! And that's not the only time that's happened either. That happened because I'm a nail biter. Yeah. So if I don't have nails on, I will put them in my mouth and bite them. And I'm like, I touch my face a lot.
Me too.
And so I'm like, I'm like, what is that? And I'm like, and he was probably already in bed or whatever, and I'm probably just up watching TV, and I'm, what is that? And I'm like looking, and then I'm like, oh no, oh my god, and I probably, just.
You're so sweet and awkward, And you told me that when Jeff and I came home, because you were like. So I think, like, you were just so, like, awkward and stuff. I don't know what it was. You were like, yeah, I changed his diaper and I kept smelling it. Like, and it was under my nails. I never forgotten that. I thought it was so funny.
When I was younger, I was very monotone. People used to tell me that I was like really monotone.
You were, but it was weird. Like you were monotone, but your face like made the expression it's so hard to describe.
I have a really animated face.
Your eyes and the way you moved your head showed your expression, but you were very monotone. It was very odd. Like
I had poop under my nails.
Very...
I didn't know until I put my hand in my mouth.
Yes. But you were like, I didn't know until like I put my hand in my mouth. Like, oh, it was just so funny. It was so funny. Anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted you. We were talking about you didn't have experience.
I had none. No, so like when I had Raven, I had no idea what I was doing, and I'm thinking like, who would allow this? Who would allow? Yeah. Like I don't know what I'm doing.
Isn't that? I know, it's crazy.
I remember like when I was still in the hospital with her, and the nurses would come and they would take her and they would come back and they would tell me like, oh, we changed your diaper and this that, and I'm thinking like, oh right, diaper, like I forgot. And I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to be doing that. But like I didn't know. I forgot.
It's so weird. Like I swear I totally understand. Like you said, resentment, and like I totally get it. Lennon was born like 2 weeks after my mom died, and so I had that all going on, and then I have him. I remember, of course, when I saw him, I was like, oh my gosh. But then they're like, here he is, right? And I was afraid of him.
Like, now you have to take care of him.
I was afraid of him. Like, I thought, who the fuck are you? Like, seriously, I have no idea who you are. I didn't have that, like, maternal. Yeah. I didn't. And of course I cried and I loved him when I saw him and I was protective of him, of course.
Yeah.
But like maybe it's exaggerated. Maybe people just exaggerate the feeling.
I don't know. Maybe
I didn't have that like overwhelming like I had fear. That's what I felt. I felt fear. And I felt, you're a stranger. I remember thinking in my head, this thing is a stranger, and it just changed my entire life.
Did you like being pregnant?
Hated it.
Really?
Every single time. And sorry, I'm gonna reach past you. I gotta take this lipstick off. And every single time I got pregnant, it was like, how the hell did this happen? But
yeah,
of course.
I
it was like it just happened.
I liked it. I remember.
Really?
Yeah, especially with Raven, because when I was pregnant with Riley, like I was enormous, and I was just uncomfortable and swollen.
Yeah.
And when I was pregnant with Raven, I remember like being in the hospital, and I was like, I like looked at myself and I was like, oh, she's gone. But then she's right there, she's like
that's
right
really
there,
sweet,
like next to me, and I'm like, oh right, there she is. But
that's sweet.
But I'm like, oh, she's gone.
That's really sweet. Like you were sad that she wasn't like in your room again.
I missed her. Yeah, I missed her.
Yeah, that's wild. Oh yeah, no, I never felt. Oh, sorry. I never felt that way.
No.
Never. I hated being pregnant. I hated it. Hated it.
I didn't get like a whole lot of morning sickness or anything like that.
Maybe that's probably why. Maybe that's probably why. Because I was sick. Gosh, I was sick. I would say the entire time with Lennon, maybe 2 months. At the end, I wasn't. And I couldn't, it wasn't like I was throwing up. I just constantly felt nauseous.
I was not, yeah, I
constant.
Had, I remember like when I was pregnant with Raven and we all went to Denny's. And that was how I learned that if you mix Sprite and Coke, it tastes just like ginger ale. The lady at Denny's, because I asked her like if she had ginger ale and she said no, and she mixed the two together and she was like, here.
Well, what a nice waitress.
And
it's so cool.
I was like, I got like chicken tenders or something, and I remember I had my head down with this chicken tender in my hand the whole time. Everyone else is just talking and eating, and I'm like, because I was so. Yeah. But I'm not gonna. I hate throwing up. So
I do too. Especially now after my surgery, it's horrible. Yeah, it's just like, it just like took me down this whole like rabbit hole of like, wow, like all these like things that I thought, right? And I couldn't remember what you told me that I said. I couldn't remember, but when you told me that, I remember I was like, holy shit, never remember that. It's just so weird. But I know I jump all over the place, but it's like, yeah, when I remember looking at him and thinking that, I was afraid of him. And I had been around children, little children. I used to work at a daycare for many years. I couldn't even change his diaper. I could not. I was trying and I just couldn't do it. I had to call the nurse then. And I was crying and I said, I don't know how to do this, you know?
Well,
and so she like showed me whatever. And I'm thinking in my head, Carrie, what the? Get a grip.
You
like,
probably.
It was so weird.
But you were probably under so much stress that you.
Well, sure.
And you probably just had to, you know, internalize it and keep going.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean,
so, you know.
It's just wild. Like.
Yeah, but I mean, grief.
Yeah.
Grief does stuff to people.
Oh, yeah.
And you didn't have that opportunity.
Yeah, I understand. I went from like that to that. Yeah. I get that.
And
do you know I just recently forgave my mother for dying?
I didn't.
It's the weird.
I didn't know. I didn't know you blamed her.
Oh yeah, I was very. Just until I prayed maybe a few months ago, I was mad at her, and I knew that. I knew it's such a weird thing. Like I do remember after she died. Of course, I was very sad and very lost type feeling. Like I felt like an orphan, right?
Yeah.
And then I got to where I thought, okay, I just have to like deal with it for some years and then it'll be over. Like almost like it was like a punishment or something. I'll just deal with it for about 10 years and then she'll be back. And I didn't realize I seriously in my head, I thought that. And then one day I realized, what are you thinking? Are you crazy? Like, what's wrong with you? Why are you thinking that? Like, I remember going, oh my God, like, where are you? What? She's not coming back. Like, it was weird. Weird shit. And they say they have those, like, stages, right, of mourning.
Oh, like denial and...
Yup.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking that because I was doing, like, group therapy, grief therapy and stuff. And I thought, oh my God, holy crap. That was like bargaining and denial, right?
Yeah.
And then that went into anger. Like,
yeah.
And yeah, I've been angry with her for years upon years upon years. And the main thing, yeah, I was angry with her for dying. I almost felt like she did it on purpose. It's the truth. I've told Jason that many times. I feel like sometimes I feel like she did it on purpose.
Well, I'm sure she didn't.
Of course not. But it's like so weird. Like, it's just weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird thing. But I've gotten to the point where I really, I don't feel that way. I totally forgive her. We moved here, which makes me so happy and just so like, the energy is good and that's where I need to be. It just feels really good, you know? And, you know, you move, so I had all this stuff. And so things would like pop up like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen this forever. It's a picture of my mother that I hadn't seen forever. So it just kind of kept happening, right? And I was doing something and it must have been stuck to my pants or something. I don't know. But I looked down because something fell. I was walking, something fell. And I looked down and it was my mother's funeral card.
Oh.
And I was like, that's weird. And I had been thinking like, let this go, Carrie, like for a while now. You gotta let this shit go. And I don't know what I picked it up and I was like, all right, damn. Frankie, shit, I get it. Okay, I forgive you.
Yeah.
Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me alone, I get it. Sorry, I forgive you. No big deal. And I stuck it in my fridge. And it's then now it's gone. It's wild. That feeling's gone.
That's your acceptance is...
I guess.
I mean, but that's 25 years.
23 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I harbored a lot of like my siblings' feelings too. Like I took like my mother was not the easiest person. A lot of the outside people think she was great.
I think
and
I
she was a
maybe
great
met
person.
Her. I think
but
I maybe met her once.
no.
No?
I don't think so.
Really? I remember your dad.
Yeah. Maybe you did.
I think I may.
Well, she was at the wedding. Of course you met her.
No, I mean like.
But I'm thinking. Like, I said no, but yeah, she was at the wedding. She saw me get married, so you probably did see her.
Maybe did you guys have any kind of baby shower?
Of course, yeah. I'm thinking of after. Yeah. No, of course you met her. Yeah. I'm sorry I said that. Yeah. What was I saying? It was about me letting it go. Yeah, it was like 23 years because Lennon was born a couple weeks after she died. And I harbored like...
Oh, your siblings.
Yeah, like I harbored a lot of feelings that I don't even know if they had. I was just so pissed at her. I thought, well, I didn't like the way you did that to them. I don't know if that's how they felt. It's so weird.
Yeah. How many siblings do you have?
I have a brother and a sister.
Oh, okay. And you're
I'm the youngest.
So am I.
Yeah. Yeah, my sister, she's the oldest, and my brother, and then they're like 2 years apart. And then I'm 4 years apart from my brother. So that I'm 6 years apart from my sister. But, yeah, it's wild. It's, I don't know, the whole thing, it's just wild.
It's a lot like...
Well, it's wild.
Yeah, I don't know. My slippers are making me mad.
Take them off!
I'm freezing.
You want another blanket?
No, it's alright. I'm always cold.
It's cold in here, though. My hands are cold, too. I prefer it cold because I'm going through menopause.
Maybe that will be me one day, and then my husband will finally be like, because I, crawl in bed at night with my corpse body, and I'm like...
Women usually have like their hands, their feet, and their like butts are always cold.
Yeah, all the like fatty parts of me.
That's a good point.
Like my belly, my butt, my thighs. but it's like I'm so cold.
It's true.
I get so cold that like the mattress itself is colder after I've laid there. The mattress is colder with me in it than it was before I got there.
The corpse. That's hilarious.
And I always say, like, you gotta warm the core, and because you could feel the cold like radiating out of my body. I'm so cold. I get so cold. I'm like cold to the bone, and it like radiates out of me. And then I'm like, you gotta warm the core. Like,
you think that?
I swear it. It's.
I love that you're just as.
I'm something
freaking weird as I am.
I'm just. There's. I'm just.
Because those aren't normal thoughts. It's not.
They're not.
Of course not.
I just think of like this rod covered in meat, and that represents me. That represents me as just this.
Yeah, no.
Metal.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because I know the shit that I just told you is fucking weird, right? Yeah. If we just go bleh and say it, so yeah, I get it. Oh my god, it's so funny. Even like the way that I'm like decorating this house, it's like every room I want a different theme.
My house is kind of like that.
So when you walk in the door, I want nothing but on the walls there, like that little entranceway right there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, those like cheesy little like home is where the heart is, or like first coffee. Like I want those cheesy
live,
signs.
laugh, love.
Yes, I want those cheesy signs. You could buy them at a gas station. I want it to cover that entire area there. So like when people come in, they'll notice it. Maybe they notice one, and it's like positive energy before they walk in. I know that's weird, but it's true. So they might catch one and go, "Oh, home is where the heart is." That's really sweet. And then you walk in and you're happy.
Yeah, I think I will eat today.
That's how I feel. Like it'll bring positive energy in. I know it's so weird, but like every room is like a totally different like theme, right? It's a theme. Like the dining room, I want it to look like an old bar.
That's cool.
And then like the hallway, it's like, think about it's like the kitchen. I want it to look like a diner.
Yeah.
The hallway, I want it to look like this, like the hippies stuff, like the peace stuff.
Yeah.
The bathroom, I want it to look like you went to a spa and it's like glamorous.
You know, that's probably because.
And the bedroom, I told Jason he can have the bedroom.
Like, there's so many, because now it's like the aesthetic. That's what people say, the aesthetic.
Oh, I did.
And like young people especially are
really
like, what's your aesthetic? I'm like,
oh, I never even heard of that.
Yeah, so
wow.
It's basically like your theme, and like
I didn't know that.
Like, I'm really weird about like seeing like chords and like
I don't like that either.
Like
I'm gonna move this back a little bit because I am a little closer to you.
Like
I feel.
I like to.
And I think if we talk loud enough.
That's probably. I like to feel like.
Yeah, this is better. I think this is better. I don't care if I'm.
Yeah, I like to feel that like a room that's staged, where like everything there isn't like stuff that's like out of place. There's not like piles of paper and like because like not that I don't have them, I just hide them.
Right.
Because they make me crazy.
Yeah, you hide it. Yeah, I'm the same way. Truly. But
like because there's so many
yeah
different things that you're into and you can't find a way to marry them, so you just pick like this.
It's just weird.
My bedroom is Vikings.
Of course it is.
My bedroom is...
I'm not laughing at you, I'm sorry, because you have not laughed at anything I've said and I keep laughing at you. You just crack me up, man.
My bedroom is like the walls, and my bedroom is like, it's small. Like it's I don't know. My bedroom, like it fits like a queen size bed, and then there's like 3 feet on the one side and like 2 feet on the end, and the bed is like in the corner. It's small. I don't even have a closet in there. Like,
right.
It's small. And I'm like, I'm gonna paint this room dark green because the room is small. There's nothing I could do to make this room look bigger, so I'm just going to paint it dark because I want it dark and I don't care. So like it's dark green. There's like Viking ship pictures on the wall. Our bed is like wood, and there's like a little Viking ship on the headboard.
That's cute.
Our comforter is like we were watching a lot of Game of Thrones at the time. We were watching a lot of Game of Thrones.
You crack me up.
So like our bedspread is like, it's like a brown like hair. Like it looks like it's like a bear type of thing.
Stop it. Are you kidding? Stop it. I know you're not kidding. That's what I find funny. I know you're not
probably
kidding.
have pictures, but like
that's hilarious.
So like because I took over the whole house, right? And
of course.
Like my dining room, it's like my whole house has like a very like spooky vibe, but it's also very like apothecary kind of
oh, I could totally see that.
So it's kind of, like cabinet of curiosities and
I could totally see that. You're describing yourself.
Yeah.
Truly.
So like I was like, well, poor James, he's he has to just like watch all of this unfold as I just go nuts on the house.
Yes.
So
exactly.
I'm like, well, what do you want? And
I don't care. Right.
So I was like, well, do you want our bedroom to be pirates or do you want it to be Vikings? And he's like, well, our house already has kind of a piratey vibe, and I guess it does sort of.
Oh, I could totally see that.
Like I don't know. So I was like, Viking, like. So then I like go online. I start buying all this crap, and like I have a raven that's like on the wall, and it's like
I can totally see you. I've told you this before. Like you're like one of those like pictures where like they're in a forest and there's little twinkly lights.
Yeah.
And it's, like, seriously, you have that look. It's wild. You just do. You just do. And then your personality
is weird.
But it goes with it, where it's like it's weird, but it's like magically weird. It's so weird. It's like very fairy pixie dust.
When I was a kid,
type of thing.
When I was a kid, because I can't turn this off, right?
I know.
And, like,
I get it.
It doesn't work for me so well.
I know. I get it.
Social situations.
I get it.
And like work and my boss. And
I get it.
so,
I do.
Like, I can't turn it off.
Everyone thinks I'm weird. I know that, and I know they know it. I can tell it in their face. I can see it.
Yeah,
I can see it because I can't just go hi. I can't just even say hi. If they go, hey, how are you? I can't just go, I'm fine. How are you? I have to go, I feel really good. How are you? And they're like, whoa, come.
Yeah, like, I dropped my coffee.
Yes, like the guy at the gas station. I go in, how are you this morning? I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling better than yesterday. But you know what? It's Wednesday. We're almost done. Like, I don't have to do that. Just say, good, how are you?
Yeah, and he's probably like, what the hell?
Well, now he's not. Now he looks forward to me coming in because, like you said, I can't shut it off.
Yeah.
I don't know why I do that. I just do it.
As a kid,
it's
like,
obnoxious.
my friend's parents were, like, I had one, and my friend Liz, her mom would always say, like, that I was quirky. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. Like, and I'm like, what are you calling me? And she's like, no, quirky, like, you have quirks. And I'm like, it's not explaining anything. And so then, when I was, I don't know, maybe like 12, my friend, she lived up the street from me and she moved away, and she moved from my street to off Columbus in Bedford. So she didn't move too far, but, so I got dropped off at her house, and her little sister comes running up to me and says, my mom says you're a flake.
Oh my God.
And
I'm so funny.
And like I never forget it, and like I bring it up all the time.
That's so funny.
I bring it up to my friend, and like I'm like, let your mom know that has stuck with me my entire life.
Yes, I know. It's so wild.
And like, and her mom didn't even apologize for it. She yelled at her daughter and was like, "Don't repeat what adults say." Like, you didn't even try to back out of it. You didn't even try to correct yourself or anything.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you didn't. She made no attempt to save herself at all. She was just, don't repeat what adults say. Like,
and that meant she did say it.
Yeah. So I'm a flake, and I
had my nephew Brandon come up to me. It was a holiday. It was something. I think it was a holiday. We were all families getting together. Something. Whatever it was, we were celebrating. We were all together. And he was young. And he came up to me and he said, "Are you going to ruin this party like you did last time and get drunk?" And he said, "Somebody's been hearing their parents talk."
Oh my God.
I know.
Oh my God.
No, that's what he said. I'm sorry. "Are you going to get drunk and ruin this party like you did the last one?" That's what he said.
Oh no.
It was so funny. But that's what I said. I went, "Ooh, someone must have been hearing their parents talk." So funny.
Oh my God. Oh, wow.
But I mean, I can't go, "How dare." Maybe I was being obnoxious. Probably was.
Only time will tell.
You know what I mean? I probably was. Obviously I was. I can't even say just, "Hi, I'm fine, how are you?" The guy at the gas station.
Yeah.
I have to, I don't know why I do that. Maybe I think in my head he really means it. But hey, how are you? I'm thinking, wow, that's so nice. He really wants to know how I am.
How am I doing?
I know. I can't turn it off.
Yeah.
I can't. It's
but I gravitate to others.
Well, of course.
Like, I can't have boring friends.
Well, of course you do. Because the other ones are like, what the... You know what I mean? And people either loved me or hated me in high school, and when they hated me, they hated me.
Yeah, you were a freak. Yeah, it was.
Oh,
yeah.
they were like, anger. It was like, I invoked anger. Like, she's a fucking weird. Like, anger. Or they thought, she's so great. It's so weird.
Yeah.
And I was always fucking clueless.
And that's.
Until I would talk to them and go, oh, you hate me? And then my brain would go, well, now you're going to die.
Well, like.
Then I would get mad.
Now that, like, the world is about, you know, neurotypical and on the spectrum and stuff, it's like, everything that they say, it's like, shit, that's me. Like,
yeah, it's weird.
Like, am I on the spectrum? Have I always been on the spectrum?
Right?
Like, I
get those thoughts 100%.
Like, I'm a super literal person. Even though, like, I'm weird and silly and I'm always joking, like, I'm super literal. So if you say something, I actually think that is exactly what you mean. Like Amelia Bedelia.
Me too. I am too.
Like Amelia Bedelia.
I don't know what that is.
They were these books, and like, she was a literal person. So like, she's reading how to bake a cake, and she's like 2 eggs, and she just takes the eggs and she just puts them in a bowl.
Oh, I see. It didn't say crack the eggs.
And it's like 1 cup of flour, and she like puts flowers in there, and like, then she went camping, and they said pitch the tent, and she just takes the whole tent and just throws it in the bushes.
That's fun.
And like, that's me. And you know, they say now that like neurotypical people
neurodivergent.
Is that the word? No, typical. Yeah, typical is the one that everyone else is, and neurodivergent is
the ones that are different.
Yeah, but like, before all of that, because there wasn't that.
No, and maybe there shouldn't be. I mean,
well, yeah, because
all you're doing is classifying. Here's the thing that I don't get, and I'm sorry, I mean to cut you off. It's like, don't label anything. No, don't put me in that category. And I am who I am, and I'm this. But then you have to have a label for everything. It really is a contradiction.
Yeah, self-diagnosing people.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of the word trigger, and I'm tired of the word hearing narcissist. Like, oh my gosh, stop it.
Well,
but anyway,
there probably are a lot.
Well, of course, but
especially like with technology and stuff.
But now there's like 8 different versions of being a narcissist. It's like, okay, knock it off. Like, I don't know.
I think like
I digress.
I digress. But I think like bringing all of this stuff like to the forefront, where like, you know, neurodivergent and stuff, where it's like, so it wasn't just me all along. Like, it's okay that I'm like this. You know?
Oh, I see.
Like,
okay.
Like, whereas I spent my whole life trying to hold that in.
Yeah, I get it.
You know, because like, I don't understand social cues sometimes, and like,
I'm highly gullible. I mean, highly gullible.
I don't know. Are you?
Like, I believe you. Like, if someone says, oh, and they look to me like they're telling me the truth, I'll go, really? And they'll go, no. And I'm like, stop doing it. Oh, yeah. I'm very, I think I call it gullible. Maybe it's trusting. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But maybe trusting. Yeah, I understand. That's wild. Like, I was just kind of like, I kind of just realized that, like, look, that's just, I don't know, that's the category.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I used to feel, well, I used to say, like, if anyone's like, they go, oh, if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Carrie. You know, if it's bad or it's weird or whatever. And I remember being young, and my mother, her being like, you do this on purpose. You're acting this way on purpose.
No.
And I was like, no, I'm not.
I have a very, like,
I'm not.
I have, like, a very spill the beans kind of quality about me.
Yeah.
And, like, I didn't know. Like, but I remember, like, my dad saying things like, there was a work thing, and I remember him being so worried that I was going to tell his boss that he was stealing all the pens and pencils from it. And
That's awesome.
He was like, no, don't say anything. He's like,
because you would just,
because
yeah.
I, like, who, no,
But he didn't worry about your siblings doing it.
No,
he just knew someone's gonna do it. It's gonna be you. That's funny.
And then like
that's hilarious.
There was like my friend's mom, and I think she was having an affair or something. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
And like her husband came in, and I'm there, and she's looking at me and looking at him and looking at me, and like then he ended up leaving, and she's like, oh, wow. I was like, I'm not stupid, like. Like,
that's great.
Like, I'm like, do I really do that often?
That can go out.
Oh, it's okay.
No, seriously.
I sit on my feet anyway.
Okay, well, there's a little thing over there, and it'll recline you if you need. That's hilarious.
Well, like, am I really that bad that you were worried that I was gonna just like?
Well, obviously, but I don't think it's bad. I just think you're unpredictable. They didn't know what was gonna come out of your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like. It's wild. Yeah. I remember my mother also telling me, "You're just trying to be different. You're just trying to be different." Aww. And I was like, "No, I'm not, Mom. I'm not. I promise. No, I'm not. Yeah, you are. You're just." And I'm like, "No, I seriously just think that. Yeah. I don't know." So I got used to it, and sometimes when I was younger, it didn't bother me because. I was younger and I was focused on boys and friends and stuff like that, right? Rock stars and crap like that. As I got older, it started like hurting my feelings a little bit. But now I kind of like it. With I'm gonna call her my niece, Frankie, because I'm a great aunt, but I'm gonna say niece. With her being born, I love it. Like I was holding her, whatever, and I said something silly and. Kelly, my sister, her grandmother, said, "Oh, it's just kooky Aunt Carrie." And before it might have made me sad, and I would have laughed it off. But I was like, "Yeah, I am. So they call me Aunt Kooky, and I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it." Aww. That's what Chloe said. I'm like, Carly, that's her mom. I'm like, I want to be named Aunt Kooky. Aww. And so they did. They call me Aunt Kooky. It's wild. It's wild.
My niece calls me Uncle Pam. I don't know how that started, but
I love that. Uncle Pam. I love that. Well, I have cousins that they're like my third cousins, but they call me Aunt.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I changed it. I thought it was clever, and I say Cousin-aunt. Oh, Carrie. Like when I give a card, I'm like, get what I did there. See what I did. Yeah, I don't know. I really like it now.
I don't know.
I understand who I am.
I'm one of those people though. Like even today, being here, I'm gonna drive home and I'm gonna replay everything.
Me too.
And then I'm gonna be like, oh my god. Oh.
Why did I say that? Why?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like, stupid. Like.
Yeah.
And
I know, and I wonder if other people do like. I'm sure everyone does that, like, oh, why did I say that? But I know exactly what you mean. Like, I'll replay my day and go, why'd you say that? Or why didn't you say this? Or, oh, yeah, total.
Yeah, like,
You look I have a real thing where I think people think I'm stupid. I don't like that. I really think they think I'm stupid because I'm, I don't know. Or, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like when they think I'm stupid because I'm kind of like, well, quirky, right? So they'll think I'm airhead. Oh, you know, she's like airheaded or scatterbrained, you know, that type of thing. And I have a real, and obviously I don't know if they think that. I think they're thinking that. And that's like probably the only thing that really bothers me anymore is I think that people think I'm stupid.
I wonder if people think that about me. I always thought that, you know, because I'm not even 5 feet tall, you know, I'm small.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always said that people like unconsciously treat me like a child, and I always thought it was because I was small. But maybe they think I'm stupid.
That's interesting. Huh, that's interesting.
But like, yeah, being small, you don't get treated the same.
Maybe not. I don't know.
You're small.
I'm 5'1". How tall are you?
4'10".
Oh my God, you're so cute. Yeah, I'm 5'1". My sister's 5 foot. I always make sure I do the 5'1".
My mom is 4'11" and 3/4.
See, those short. We do that. Short people, we do that. Like we have to like add the.
Yeah.
We just do. It's funny. That's interesting.
But yeah, so
I never thought of it that way. I just thought like they just think I'm stupid because of my personality.
Yeah.
You know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I often wonder, like, first impressions of, like, what people think of me. I worry about that too much. I worry about that too much of what other people think.
I used to. I still do. Don't get me wrong. And I you know what? I think that people should still worry about what people think of you because I think that's what having pride in yourself is. I mean, you still have to fit in society, right?
Right.
So I think it's okay to have, to have like, oh, I don't want to look like this because so and so, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I don't know. I just wonder, like, the girl is nuts, you know? Like.
I know. I used to feel that way too. I've gotten past that. There is something. It's weird. There is something about like moving here. It's really changed like. My energy, it's just weird, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I was always trying to not impress, but like
tone down the way you are.
Fit in, tone down, yeah. And I would always be like, oh my gosh, she thinks I'm nuts.
Yeah,
they think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
It's wild. I know, and I don't do it on purpose.
Mouth diarrhea. I'm like, and those are the things that I like lay up, you know, thinking about like, oh my God, I can't believe that I like said that or did that or.
I'm ultra sensitive to people's mannerisms too. So if I say something and they make like the slightest little thing, I'll go, oh shit. Shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Shit. And then I'll text them or call them and go, hey, remember when I said that? Yeah. You know, I didn't mean to make you feel like that. And they'll go, I didn't. Are you sure? Because, I don't know, I just thought you did. And I just wanted you to know I wasn't. That is ridiculous.
Thinking that.
That is ridiculous behavior that you pick up on. You think this person is thinking that. But they're not.
That's because
it's all in me. It's all in this. It's so weird. So stupid.
That's just not. That's growing up without having any confidence.
Yeah, maybe. I felt pretty confident as a teenager.
Like at home? No, I'm not talking about you. And
yeah, okay, yeah.
I'm not talking about
you're right.
the environment that you put yourself
I'm thinking
in.
School. When you said that, I was thinking school and friends.
You
right.
chose that environment.
You
chose those people. You chose.
That's really interesting.
You chose the environment that you put yourself in.
Yeah.
And so you would be confident. I'm talking about at home.
No, not at all. Oh, that's interesting. You're so smart. That's very interesting. Yeah, no.
So.
Huh.
Yeah,
but I had good parents. Listen, my parents were very good parents. They were very, very good. My mom, she was a little rough around the edges sometimes. She was. I'm not gonna say sometimes.
But did they build you up? Did they build you up? Or did they just not? Did they just not say anything?
I don't think they thought to do that.
Yeah, my experience.
They didn't do it on purpose. Not do it on purpose. No, it's. No. Did they say things like, I'm proud of you? No. But I knew.
But did they like...
it's weird. I'm not saying they're bad for not doing it. They didn't think to do it.
My dad...
I'm overboard with my kids.
My dad would break us down. Particularly me. I was treated differently. I think to me, I was.
Yeah. Well...
My dad would call me...
I think, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh,
sorry.
No, I was just saying, my dad, he would call me like a retard and stuff and say that I was like, something was wrong with my brain and...
Oh, I'm sorry. That's horrible. That's horrible. No, I didn't have that. That's really sad. When did he start doing that? If you want to talk about it.
I mean, he was, I don't know. Just all. He
Just
in general.
mm.
In general, and even like my mom had said stuff that I don't remember him saying. Like, she said that he said once, like, if you touch that, I'm gonna break all your fingers. Like, I don't remember him saying that.
Yeah.
So he was probably always that way.
Probably.
But yeah, I don't know. I just
Yeah. It's weird. It's so weird, and it's just I've gone the opposite. Like, I had a thing that I held a grudge with my mother. But for me, at least, I don't know how she was with my siblings. In my head, she was okay with my brother. Like, she was like able to like be loving and hug, and maybe she didn't. I don't know. But I used to feel like, oh, he's like the all-American boy, man. He's done everything right. You know, she adored him. He was her favorite, 100%, 100, and that's fine, whatever. But it wasn't fine when I was younger. I noticed it, you know. Yeah. But I had a thing like with me at least, like my mom, I could say I love you, and she'd go, I know. Aww. But I knew she loved me. I just wanted to hear those words. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I knew she did. I knew she did. I just wanted her to say it. Even when she died. She did. But then I used to be mad at her for that. I thought, I used to think, even to the day she died, she couldn't even be that. She couldn't even put her guard down enough. I don't think that's what she was doing now. She was just being herself.
Yeah. She
didn't know. I never told her, Mom, can you just say those words?
Yeah.
She would have. She probably would have burst into tears.
Yeah. Yeah. She probably wasn't told it either.
Probably not. Well, probably not. Probably not.
She was a child of the 50s, right?
Yeah, she was born in 1950, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Right. But now that I let that go, I can see it. But, oh my God, like so I went overboard, like with my children. Oh my gosh. So much so where they went to Jason and said, they were kids, and she was like, can you tell her to stop saying it? She's driving me crazy, basically. They were like, why does she say it so much? I was driving them nuts. Okay, but I love you. I love you too. Okay. You know that I love you, right? Aww. Oh, it was like overboard. Yeah. So weird. It's wild.
Yeah.
I've talked to my siblings, and I'm like, I would love to like do this with you guys. You know what I mean? Like, it's 3 different perspectives, just like you.
Yeah.
Your brother's in the middle, right?
Yeah.
So is mine.
Mm-hmm. Me and my brother were 16 months apart, though. So you have.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I have 4 for my brother. I was like an oopsie.
I was too. Who has a baby 6 months? Who gets pregnant 6 months after they have a baby?
Oh God, that would be horrible.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I think that like my dad held resentment because I was the one that broke the camel's back, you know. But I think I got treated differently because I pushed back. You know, where everyone else would either ignore it or internalize it, I was like, well, you're not going to talk to me like that. You're not going to talk to my mom like that. And, you know.
That's wild. I was not like that.
No.
My sister was like that. She was like that. She was the, like, brave. My mom was real rough on my sister. She was rough. She hit her and stuff. And, my sister, she had balls, man. And I think I just saw that, and I could see my mom had a bad temper. She did. So did my dad, but hers was different. She got like, you know, like physical, you know what I'm saying? And she couldn't control it. And I know that, like, obviously it's because of her past and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And you just didn't talk about shit like that. This is like the 80s, you know? Yeah. But I don't know. But, oh yeah, Kelly, she was fearless with her. She really was. And I saw it, and I thought, well, hell no. I knew, like, keep your mouth shut. I would push to my limit.
Yeah.
But what I would do as I got older, because I remember it when Kelly was like a teenager. Kelly was real like, rah, and like in her face, like she was fearless with my mother, right? And she knew that, it's on.
Yeah.
Like but she still did it. I did it. I did it behind the backs, right? I snuck.
Yeah.
Because I knew. And so what's she gonna do? I already did it. You know.
Was it more of like a?
I was scared.
Better to ask for forgiveness and permission.
Absolute.
Kind of thing?
Absolute. Because maybe even the thought of, hey, I want to do this might trigger something that she was like, you're not doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I definitely think that's because I watched the different dynamic with my sister. You know, I thought, well, shit.
Yeah.
I'll just do it.
Yeah.
I'll deal. Yeah, I might get in trouble. Whatever. But I always knew, like, I always knew the limit, right? I always knew, like, even if I was doing something, let's say bad or something I knew that she would not be happy with, I knew what limit to go to where I could, like, get out of it. Like,
yeah.
So, I don't know. It's weird. This is weird. It's a really strange thing. She was always in my head. Like, I was always worried about how she would act. That's wild.
I was always worried about making my mom sad.
And I was worried about making my mom mad. That's really wild.
So, like, you know, a lot of my, like, girlfriends from school, they're all dead. You know, they've all overdosed and died.
Oh my God.
So
I'm so sorry. That's horrible.
It is what it is, you know. But
God,
I
horrible.
could have so easily went down that path.
Absolute.
But I didn't want to make my mom sad. So that, in the back of my mind, kept me out of trouble and doing things because I didn't want to make her sad. She was already sad.
She was already sad.
So I didn't want to make her more sad. So that was
interesting. When did you realize that?
That she was sad?
That you did that? Did you realize at the moment you were, like, did you realize, well, you know what, that's a dumb question, because I do remember realizing I was doing it because I didn't want to make her mad. I do remember thinking that, and that was what my limits were, you know, like I knew, if I get caught doing this, she's going to be ruthless, right? So I knew at the time, I guess I didn't understand why I was doing it, you know what I mean? So maybe that's what I was trying to articulate a little more.
I mean, there was even stuff that you didn't maybe even want to bring up at home because you didn't want, like, maybe even stuff that you knew that would cause an argument, and I didn't want her to get yelled at by my dad.
Yeah.
So I was probably always like that. It was, you know,
it's wild, man. It is just crazy. And I'm not saying I had a bad childhood, because I didn't.
No, I didn't either.
I did not have to want for anything. I was very lucky. I was fortunate, very lucky. I had good parents. They were together since they were 15 years old.
Wow.
You know, they literally grew up together. And I told you something all the time, like, children truly watch their parents grow up. Like, I was 22 years old when I had, 23 when I had Lennon.
Yeah, I was 23.
He watched me literally grow up.
Yeah.
They watch all your mistakes. They see it. Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
They go through it with you.
And then, like, Lennon versus Harrison and Xavier, you knew, like, you're like,
different.
Well, I'm not doing that again.
Yes.
And, like,
You're a different mother.
I feel guilt, so much guilt, because I yelled a lot at her, you know, and she didn't deserve it. She didn't even do it. She would have been like 3. you know, and I lived at home.
Yeah.
So there was stuff that like I couldn't do and say because my mom would have been like, "You're being unreasonable. Like, why are you doing this?"
Because your father probably did it. You're right. That's what you're used to.
I didn't know what I was doing.
Of course not.
I didn't know what I was doing.
You were a kid playing grown up. I say that all the time. I was a kid playing grown up.
So, you know, I yelled at her a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And just, I wonder, like, and I even, like, I asked her one day, like, I was like, "Do you forgive me?" But she didn't remember.
Of course not.
So I was like, "Well, can you tell me whether or not you do or you don't anyway?" And like, you know, she said that she did, but like I still feel bad, you know. And I do know. I told her like I didn't know, you know, I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, I do know.
And like, so, you know, having more kids, you're, you know, the patience that you develop, you know, like I had no patience, you know, I had no patience. I had no experience with children. I wanted her to be the same way I was as a 20-something-year-old person.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a baby, you know, 2-3 years old. Like, I expected her to, like, you will not be like this.
Yeah.
And you will not, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I, you know, it was,
Is it empty?
oh, sorry.
Crud. No, there is some. Here. There is some. I'll put it here. I know. I do feel... I can understand. I mean, you were still talking. Quick up.
No, I should stop anyway.
I am. I had, and I will say had because I finally did get over it. I became an addict later in my life, in my 30s, a drug addict, and then it got bad after my father died. So I was in my 40s then, you know. Where my children were old enough and they could see it. And I had to be honest with them and say, that's what it is, but I'm getting better, I'm doing this and I'm doing this, so I'm gonna, you know. I hid it. Well, I thought that I hid it. Okay, I'm talking too fast. When I went for treatment, I didn't go to a rehab. I did it like outpatient type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's called an IOP, intensive outpatient something. So you know, you'd have therapy, group therapy on the phone.
Oh, and they would hear you
5 days a week for 4 hours. And I would be in the kitchen, whatever. And my big hang up was with my doctor, I'd say, I'm hiding this from my family. I thought no one knew. Truly. I thought no one knew, right?
Well, they would have had to know.
Of course
like,
they did.
Even,
of course they
like,
did.
When you were high, I'm sure they knew.
Of course they did. I thought no one knew. I still have not admitted it to some people in my family. They know, because I've said, I'm sober now. Yeah. But it's really hard. You disappoint people. It's oh my God. So my doctor would say, well, you know, maybe, you know, hopefully one day you can be honest, because that's the best way. You got to be honest. You got to be honest. If you're not honest and you're hiding, you're harboring, that can affect your sobriety, right? Mm-hmm. So that went on for a while, but then eventually I just told them, right? And it was hard. And it wasn't like they said they knew, but they were like, it's okay, Mom. It's okay. And I was like, it's not okay. It's not okay. So how you said, like, she said she forgave you, and you're like, I still don't believe it. Same thing. I harbored, like, you are such a horrible person. What a horrible mother you are. So much. When they would bring up, like, old videos of them, like when they were kids and we're in there, I couldn't watch them. because I knew I was high. You know, I knew I was on some type of drug.
Aww.
And I was so ashamed. I couldn't watch it.
Yeah.
It was so shameful. I took them on a vacation, South Carolina, and totally sober, whatever. And I had been sober for years and years, but I still just couldn't forgive myself. And we sat at the table, and we were talking. We were saying like, what are you thankful for? What's the thing you're most thankful for or grateful for, whatever? And they went around and said it. And I said, I'm grateful that I am sober and that, you guys forgive me and da-da-da-da-da. And they all were like, Mom, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. Let it go. It's done. We forgive you. Stop.
Yeah.
But I still harbored. I still was like, nope, not enough. Because I felt so guilty.
Well, you can't undo it.
No.
You can't undo it, and that's...
The guilt, I thought, well, this is what you deserve. You should feel this way. You should. It was like, if I didn't hurt enough, then I didn't mean I was sorry enough. That's how I was. I'm not like that now, but it's almost 7 years. It's taken a long time.
Yeah. Well, and, we change. We're not the people we were 10 years ago,
Yeah.
Like, that's, like, having a 16-year-old and having a 9-year-old. I'm two parents, because I am finally at the cool stage, where I can talk, the way that I would talk to my friends within reason.
I get you.
But then also I have to switch, and now I'm talking to a 9-year-old.
Yeah, that's wild.
So,
I couldn't imagine that. That's wild.
Because, like, in my mind, like, even when Raven turned 16, I was like, we're finally the same age.
I know.
Because, like, in my mind, I am. And, like, now I can make, like, wiener jokes. And, like, you know, and it's like...
I never got past 17. I always say that. I still feel like I'm 17.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah.
So weird. I know. It's wild.
My grandma said that it was like that even for her when she was
really
80s. Yeah. My dad's mom.
That's so sweet.
And she would say, like...
That's so sweet.
She would say, like, she would see herself in the mirror and it wasn't her.
Yes.
And, like, I see that even now with myself, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna look worse when I'm older, so I might as well look,
I don't feel that way anymore since moving here. Moving here really just, it helped me so much. And I think that a lot of it is because we were so cramped in where we were. And it took a long time, but Jason and I, like, are okay. Like, you know what I mean? And then I feel like that proves it to the boys. Like, they're fine. They're fine. They don't worry. And they probably didn't worry for years and years and years. It's just, it makes me feel very, like, confident, because I think other people think, okay, they're under control. I don't know what it is. It's a weird thing. So a lot of that stuff I've let go of. It's wild. I'm 48 years old and I'm just now getting back on my feet.
Yeah.
It took almost 7 years because of addiction.
Yeah, but
it's crazy.
You should be proud of yourself,
though. Oh, I am. No, I am. I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky that I was one of the people that got out.
And, like,
very lucky and stuck with it.
48 now isn't 48 then. Think about, like...
True. That is true. Like, that's a good point, too.
Like,
but
I think about, like, okay, I'm going to be 40. I'm going to be 40 this year.
Yeah.
But, like, not in here I'm not. But if I thought about 40 at 16, like...
Oh, they were ancient.
40 was old.
Ancient.
But it's not the same. It's it's even like the way that we are. Like I've said this I don't know how many times. Like I don't even move the way that a person, like I don't even move like an adult. I don't do anything that an adult, like, you know, I'll still like sit on my couch and put my legs up here, and, you know, and
yes,
like
I love that.
I'm still like, I'll randomly just like lay on the floor and
oh my God, like, good for you.
Like I just, you know, like I don't even move like a grown up. I don't talk like a grown up. I don't, and that's why I'm sometimes I think like, who let me do this? Who let me buy a house and have a car? Who let me have children and be married? Like
I always tell people, I don't know how I managed to keep 3 children alive. I don't know how the hell I did it. Yeah. I really don't. It's kind of a blur. Like, I remember when I had Lennon, he was 2, and then I had Harrison, he was a baby. I remember having to go to like some appointment. It took me 2 hours to be able to juggle getting them both in the car. I started 2 hours ahead of time because I was like, okay, I got 2 kids now, and 2 hours to get out of the house. Just, and then after you get that down, when there's multiples, it's like, throw another one, who cares?
Yeah.
You know? It was so like, oh my God, how did I do this? I don't know how I kept them alive. I really don't. And my mother wasn't here, so I really relied on my sister a lot when Lennon was born. Really, I mean, I called her a lot. This is happening, like, is this okay?
Yeah.
His cheek is red and the other one's not. Is that okay? I mean, I was really like outrageous. So much so, I remember her and Jim were out of town, and I called Jim's sister.
Oh.
And was like, so I took Lennon to the doctor, and he got shots, and there's like these lumps on his legs. Like, yeah. And talk to her. I was so insecure about being a mom. I really, really was. And then I had another one, and it was crazy. Like, I don't know you. For me, it was always like I felt like I was in like. I was always like revved up. I was always like.
Well, I lived at home. At home. It was never just me and Raven. Like, you know, I lived at home, and then when my mom left my dad, I moved with her, with her, and then, you know, I lived there until you know, when James and I found out we were having Riley, and then we got the house and stuff, and so you know, and there's 7 years between the girls.
Yeah.
So, like...
That's a lot of growth in between. Like, it truly is.
And, like, the hard part with her was over. So it was like...
Yeah.
I can walk out of the room. I could take a shower. Like, I can... You know, whereas, like, with Raven, here's me, like, scooting the thing in the bathroom... You know, so I could take a shower and look at her while you make sure that she doesn't die in the 5 minutes I'm in there. And
that's
like,
wild.
So it was so different. And having a father, you know, having the father of my child present, that was new.
Yep.
To me, and I had to let him take the reins a little bit, and I didn't want to. Like, it was very difficult for me to be like, okay,
be a dad.
Yeah, because right, because like I was in control the whole time, and like I never had to negotiate with another parent.
Right,
it was just me. I made the decisions, and so to just be like, all right, like that was very hard, and I'm sure I drove him crazy a lot. I'm sure I did.
Yeah, I get it. I do. I get it. It's well, I never had that problem where I didn't have like a father in the mix. You know what I mean? I always did. I had a friend that didn't, and I always thought, God, I couldn't do that. I don't know how I could do that. But even then, it was like, even with another parent, you know how it is with the kids. I mean, the mom is still the, you know, they're the one taking care of the kid, you know? And like you said, like, I have to let go of the reins. But it was like, the mom is the caregiver, and you let other people take care of this thing up to a point until you go, no.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're protecting this beautiful little thing you have. And I think it's very, very natural and normal with that, and how it is difficult for me. It's anxiety, like, okay, well, you know, I'm going to be gone for 10 minutes, so
yeah, like, okay, well, you can hold her. She's crying, so, you know, like,
yeah.
You know, and like, he would be like, I got it, and I'm like, do you though? You know,
I know.
like,
yours must. I'm sure yours was like extremely strong because, like you said, it was only you.
Yeah.
Damn.
But I mean, I did have my parents, which had its own set of, you know, positives and negatives, because it was like I couldn't enforce anything. Yes. Because they were still, you know, it was still grandma and grandpa. Yeah. And, you know, normally, you know, grandma and grandpa are the spoilers, and, you know, so I had that, but I also, it was like, you can't give her chocolate milk before bed. You know, you can't, like we're potty training, like, she can't have this before bed, she's got to pee in it, like, you know, she like, and it's like, well, she really wanted it, and I'm like, so, you know, but at the same time,
it's all from love.
But at the same time, right? I couldn't have done it without them.
Right. It's right.
Yeah. So
I've told people I'm a better mother that my mom wasn't here, because I believe she would have criticized a lot, like, why are you doing that? Don't do that. Don't do that to them. That type of stuff, you know. And my father, he would always say, "You're too liberal with your kids, Carrie. You're too liberal with your kids." I was, though. Well, no, I was too liberal with the kids. I was. But then, however, if I started to be like, "Hey," he'd go, leave him alone. It's fine. Leave him alone. He didn't do anything wrong. You know what I mean? But I do believe that I'm a better mom, that my mother wasn't here. I really do. I think it was better that I had my sister. I don't know. Maybe I could be totally wrong. I don't know. Maybe my mom would have been able to hear me when I'm like, I don't know what to do. Maybe she would have. I don't know. I didn't have that experience.
She didn't get to be a grandma, though, either.
Not to my children.
Oh, well, yeah.
Not to mine.
Yeah. But what kind of...
She was a very good grandmother.
So, I
very,
mean,
very loving.
She might have been different.
That's to them, though. I'm talking about to me, right? So I don't know, because I needed guidance, or I felt like it. I mean, but that could be because she wasn't here. So the insecurity of that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember, oh my gosh, I'm around on Mother's Day. I like messaged my sister, and I'm like, Happy Mother's Day, because you were like, the mom. Oh yeah, she's like, now you're making me cry, you idiot, or whatever. I'm like, I know, so am I. But it's the truth. I mean, I was
close
constantly
as kids. Or was it like you were close when you were really little, and then you kind of faded out until you were old enough to? That's how it was with me and my sister.
Oh, you guys were closer when you were younger?
Yeah, and like we're really close now. But the way we act to each other now is the way that we acted when we were 9 and 4. So like,
I haven't seen your siblings in so long. It just seems like you and your brother seem to be more similar, but I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Renee is.
I'm only going off of fashion and
Renee is a closet weird though. So like when we're together, it's all like inside jokes and like she could turn it off. Yeah, that's her superpower.
I love that.
She could turn it off. I can't.
I know,
but
I love that.
Yeah. So
I think I wish I could. I wish I could do that. Sometimes. Nah, you know what? I tell myself I wish I could, and then I think, no, why do that? Yeah, it's wild. I don't know.
So she, I don't know. We're a lot alike. Me and my brother are more expressive, like, you know,
On the
on the outwardly expressive, where she is a more.
Well, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
You, in my opinion, you and your brother, when you look at you guys, right? You know, okay, they're different.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
With her, she looks quote unquote.
She blends in.
Normal.
Yeah.
Right?
She blends in.
I totally get it. Yeah. It's wild.
When we were in high school, because he was only 1 grade ahead of me, so like we would be waiting for my mom to pick us up from school, and we'd be like, all, you know, with our Jinkos and chain wallets, and like they
weighing you down.
And like I can't tell you how many people would walk up and be like, y'all make a cute couple.
That's so
like,
funny.
It's my brother.
It's so funny.
But we were one of the, you know, couple of the very few that were like that in my school. So
yes, yeah.
I was like, well,
yeah, that's funny. When Lennon was young, him and my niece Carly, people would think that they were boyfriend and girlfriend because they were very close growing up. They're the same age. They were born like a couple months apart from each other.
Yeah.
And my sister and I made them like, you're going to be close, you know, type of thing. It's funny. So you said younger, like you were close with your sister when you were younger?
Yeah, and
now it's like the same. What about your brother?
We were always close. Mm-hmm. There wasn't really ever a time where like he didn't want anything to do with me. Mm-hmm. You know, where like Renee got older, she didn't want anything to do with me, and then I got older, she wanted to hang out with me because I was older, I wanted nothing to do with her. And then it wasn't until we were both adults that we were able to finally find that space again.
Yeah.
Where like me and my brother, you know, he had to accept like really early on, especially like when we got into high school, like we're gonna be at a lot of the same places. We're gonna be, you know, a lot of the same friends and, you know, doing the same stuff, and he just had to kind of accept that. So it was like, all right, I know that you're gonna be doing this. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to be doing this. You're not going to say anything. Don't tell Renee.
I love that.
Because she will tell.
So I love that. Well, it makes sense that you and your brother are, let's say, image-wise, look the same. You grew up in the same generation. Like, you literally grew up in the same generation.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild. That's so funny. So it's like, don't tell her.
Yeah.
That's great. Because she will tell.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. You know, I was the one coming home. Pam smells like cigarettes. And I'm like, mind your business.
Why do you think she did that?
I don't know. Like, you want me to hang out with you so bad. Stop ratting me out.
That's so
I
funny.
will like you a lot more if you weren't so lame. Like, stop. So...
Oh, that's so funny.
So,
it's just so weird.
You know, and like...
I say the word weird a lot, but it's so...
You know,
it's wild.
Meanwhile, like, my brother, he's like stumbling in drunk, and I'm like...
Dude, hurry up.
Like,
she's in the other room. Go.
I'll make you a grilled cheese. You know, like, just go to bed.
You got it, right? You got it. Come on. That's funny. And I think it's very funny, like, the different dynamics. So there's like 3 of you, there's 3 of us. There is truth to like the roles that
but she
they
also
play. It's wild.
My mom, when like she had to go to work, my dad was unreliable, so she had to get dinner started. She had to make sure we were doing, so it wasn't really fair.
Right.
It wasn't fair to her. She had to be like the second mother.
Right. No, it wasn't fair.
You know, and when my dad would come home, we hid. We'd hide from him. Not like hide like in the closet, but like my mom would say, if you're upstairs, if he's upstairs, go in the basement. If he goes down in the basement, go in your room. Like, we were told at a very, very young age, just stay away from him. Because you never knew who you were going to be talking to. He was very Jekyll and Hyde kind of a guy, so we just stay away from him. And, like, it wasn't, like, one day...
Just because he drank?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I thought I remembered that he was a drinker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, like, anytime that we were, like, in the living room all hanging out, my dad would pull in the driveway, and, like, we would, like, oh, Dad's home. We called him Mad. We'd say, Mad's home.
Wow.
And so, like, we would make jokes of, like, oh, his truck sounds like this today, so he must not be mad. Like,
wow.
So we'd say, is it Dad or is it Mad? Like,
oh, wow.
So, like, my dad came home and he was like, how come every time I pull in the driveway, everybody gets up and walks away?
He noticed.
And we were like, you don't know what you mean.
Right. Wow. That's so funny. I mean, not funny, you know what I mean? Like, it's, and he noticed.
Yeah. But it's like.
And he knew why.
I'm sure he did.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
Huh.
He's still just the same. He hasn't slowed down at all.
No?
No.
Gosh.
No.
Ah, that sucks.
70 years old and he's still. But that is what he chooses to do.
Right. I mean, you can't. Do you see him?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I call him. I tried to call him, but you have to call him early.
Yeah.
Because anytime after 11 a.m., it's too late. He's already half in the bag, so you have to call him.
I'm sorry. That's bad. That's bad. That's not good. It's not good.
No.
It's not good. And you're saying like every day?
Every day but Sunday. He was
Please.
We have kids upstairs.
It's my neighbors.
Oh.
There's stairs.
Oh.
It's a duplex, so there's stairs right here, like the front door, and there's stairs that go up.
Oh.
So that you heard their door closing.
Oh. I forgot. What was I saying?
Oh, I asked every day. You said every day.
Well,
Sunday.
yeah, it was.
It
would be every day but Sunday, and the bar is closed on Sunday.
Oh.
So he would be sweating it out on the couch.
Really?
So you couldn't.
They sell booze.
He didn't drink at home.
Wow.
He didn't drink at home.
Really?
Mm-mm. He might have had like a beer or something if he was cutting the grass.
Wow.
But he didn't drink at home. So he would be on Sunday. He would be sweating it out all day, so you couldn't talk to him because he was withdraw and even more angry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was.
Did he shake and stuff? Because that's dangerous. We know that now.
I don't think so. I don't think he had the shakes, but
he
just laid there on the couch all day.
He was irritable.
Oh yeah, you could.
He wasn't himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pam.
He had control of the TV and just like if you were talking and he would be turning it up and you would talk louder because the TV and then he and it's like fine.
Yeah. He had to be comfortable. Aww.
Yeah. So he drinks at home now. There's no one there to stop.
But no one's there.
Yeah.
It's wild. That's really wild.
Yeah. But
I wonder if it made him feel better doing it outside because he was ashamed of it. If you're ashamed of something, you don't let people. You think people. You hide it.
I'm not sure that.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if it was ever about the alcohol at all, or if it was just about people.
Oh.
Because he would even say that like he didn't like the person that he was when he was sober.
Wow.
He would say that he said, I'm a geek when I'm sober.
That is so
what he said, which makes me wonder if he was like me.
It's really sad.
And he was trying to like suppress that.
Yeah. That's really sad.
Yeah.
And their generations, you didn't talk about feelings and crap like that.
Mm-hmm.
God, no.
No, even
what? It'd be like, what?
Even me, like going to my mom and saying, like, I am going to go to the hospital and I don't know when I'm going to be back. You know, will you watch Raven? I might be there for a couple of days. I'm going to check myself in. And then as soon as my dad got wind of that, it was like, oh, didn't know you were a wacko. Like,
I know.
And, you know, he would make, you know, say stuff about putting me away and just like, you're insane. You are the one that is insane. I am like this because of you.
Yeah. You know, I've taken, since my mother died, that's when I started taking like antidepressants. That's when all of it, I remember being a child, okay, and being nervous. I remember we'd go out to eat and I would be nervous that they couldn't afford the meal. I don't know why. They never give me any impression that they could not afford anything. I never went without. Even if they were broke, I would have never known. I don't know why I felt that way. So I remember looking at like, oh, what's the cheapest thing? And my dad's like, what are you gonna get? And I'm like, I don't know. How much is that? He's like, I don't care, just order it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how much it costs, just order it. I remember like things like that, being nervous. So obviously I always had this anxiety. I was just born like, I don't know, I was just born like that, you know? I guess, obviously. But after my mother died, it really like, boom, that's when it really went into gear. And then I was depressed. So I had both of those, you know? But you suppress that shit. You don't know what's going on. But obviously that was traumatic for me. Yeah. It did. It changed me. Sure. It changed me. It was very traumatic for me. But, you know, I've been on different antidepressants and anti-anxieties and stuff like that. I do remember, and I know that my sister did not mean it mean. I know she didn't. I just think back then, like, people didn't understand, right? So, like, there'd be times, like, if something happened, and I'd be like, I'd get a little upset, or I'd be a little too, oh my God! She would say things like, whoa, did you take your meds today? But I have heard so many people say, yeah, people have said, you just didn't get it. They didn't get it. Because when I started taking that, it was very like hush hush. And I don't know how you were, but when I started it, I felt a lot of shame having to take this medicine. And it was like, I don't need this medicine. I'd start feeling better, and then I stopped taking it. And then it all starts again.
I was misdiagnosed. I was misdiagnosed, so they had me on a whole cocktail of stuff that I wasn't supposed to be on. Like, they said that I was bipolar with psychotic features.
Jeez.
So I was taking antipsychotics, I was taking antidepressants, I was taking anti-anxiety, I was taking stuff to go to sleep because I was having like sleep anxiety.
What age range were you?
About 25.
Okay. It was in my 20s, yeah.
But all along, and it wasn't until later, you know, after I had stopped taking everything, because like those pills, they, you know, for a while they had like completely ruined my life. I had no life. You know, I was a zombie. I had no feelings at all. I was just a shell moving around. So it wasn't until like way later, like 33, 34 years old, like, no, you're not bipolar, you are ADHD. But what I had like ADHD, and I was depressed, just regular depression and ADHD.
Yeah.
That, you know, they said that I was bipolar because they said, you know, the manic and the depressive well, that's bipolar. Well, no, that's ADHD in a girl. You know, where like I need to.
That's interesting.
You know, I need to clean, or I'm going to obsess over this one thing until I'm totally burned out on it, and then I'm going to move on.
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
And like, you know, but that was manic. And they were like, well, no, that's, you're bipolar. And, you know, the psychotic features, they were like delusions of grandeur, because I felt, don't ever tell a psychiatrist, not well at the time, don't ever tell them that you have like intuition. That's delusions of grandeur.
Yeah. That's funny. That's wild.
Yeah, don't ever say that you feel stuff about to happen and stuff. No, you're not allowed to have that. And like, they medicated my entire flame. They like extinguished me. And it took years, even years of not taking medication. It took years before I was finally able to get back to that. Yeah, so it's, and actually the my therapist now, she asks me like, well, you know, what place did you go to? And I said, well, this was the Cherrick Center in Garfield. And she's like, you know, they've been trying to revoke that guy's license for years.
Wow.
She's like, I can't tell you how many patients I have in here that have been misdiagnosed and mismedicated, and I'm like, well, how about that? Well,
yeah, that speaks pretty loud.
You can add me to that list.
That's wild.
But she was like, no, you're not bipolar.
That's crazy. You're not the only one that, I have a friend that has been diagnosed, like she has ADHD. I've known her for over 30 years. We've been best friends for like over 30 years. And it's, and then you think, I don't know. It's wild, because it's like, am I really? Or is this just, because this generation, everything has changed. Like, now it's okay to have ADHD. It's okay to be autistic. It's okay now, right?
Yeah.
It's so accepting to the world. So are they looking for it? Are they, because you have, it's okay to be it, but you gotta be it's like they're looking, I don't know. I don't know.
Everything has to have a name on it now. Like,
yes.
Like
you can't just be weird.
No.
You're weird because you have this, this, and this.
And you can't even be like, well, I'm feeling really feminine today, I'm going to look like this. Or I'm not feeling feminine at all today, I'm going to do this. Well, suddenly you're non-binary.
Right.
Or you're gender fluid. Like, well, no, that's my mood.
Right. So, yes.
But you can't say that. But you can't say that.
No. It's so weird, man.
And
it's crazy.
Yeah, so it's like, well, it's just my mood. I'm just feeling like this today. Like,
well, and that's when I go, well, am I the only one who's thinking this? Like, it's so weird. It's so weird. Like, there are times where I wish that, like, I could not have thoughts like that, right? Just, okay, look, I'm gonna go to work, do my thing, get home, gotta cook dinner, gotta just boom, 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 boom. And if I have those random, like, weird thoughts or whatever, you can go, it's fine. You'll be fine. And then cut it off, right?
That's my whole life, though, is the random thoughts.
I know, but wouldn't it feel good that they shut off? That you can actually make it shut off?
I've had them shut off. It's lonely.
Medically.
It's lonely up there.
Medically, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where, like, everything is silenced.
I hate silence. I hate quiet.
I'd rather be like this.
I can't function either way. It's surely. I hate the dark and I hate silence. I can't be in it. My thoughts, I can't turn it off.
I've been trying really hard to learn how to meditate.
I can't do it.
Really hard.
I can't do it. I tried to. I've tried yoga. I can't do yoga either. I can't do it.
I can't. I don't. I'm like,
I cannot sit in my.
No,
I can't.
Because they're like, clear your mind. I'm like,
I can't.
How do we do that?
But that's what I'm talking about. Okay, here's what, maybe this is a better way of saying it. I guarantee that even people who are not like how we're talking we are, go, well, yeah, no shit. I feel that way too. Of course I feel that way. Like you're not like, stop whining or whatever. But they're able to cope a little better. I don't know what it is. They just seem so normal.
Yeah, like they can function. Like, okay, well, yeah, you can sit at your desk or whatever, and you can work. I sit at my desk and for 15 minutes.
It's weird.
And then I'm like, oh, welcome back. You know, like,
it's wild.
Like, you know, you can decide that you are going to clean your house today. I will be bing, 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 and like, surprise, your house is worse than it was. And I'm just gonna put all of this in a box, move it away.
Mm-hmm.
Like a normal person, like, I will clean. I have cleaned, I am done. I'm not like that. I had to disassemble everything and...
Yeah, but maybe they're not either. They just don't...
I don't know.
Say it. They're not conscious of it. Or they just... I don't know. I don't know either. It's crazy. I know, like I said, I cannot be in my thoughts. I cannot... When I go to sleep, I have to have the TV on. It's because it hits two things. I'm afraid of the dark, and there's noise. I can't... I mean, I'm very hard of hearing, so it helps because I'll constantly have a ringing in my ears because I'm going deaf. So I guess it's 3. And so, but there's actually like noise in the background. It stops me from thinking because I'm paying attention to something else. If it's quiet, I can't.
That's James.
I cannot do it. And it takes me to a place where it'd be great if I could think of all like beautiful, wonderful things. It doesn't take me there because I have depression. It takes me to the things that I don't like, or I was sad about, or I think of my mother, or my dad. You know what I mean?
Replaying all the horrible things you said all day.
That too. Exactly. You know? Right?
Yeah.
If I don't have the TV on tonight, I'm going to be thinking, oh my God, why did I say all this shit? And if you post it, Carrie, you're going to post it. Holy fuck, people are going to hear what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely. I can't do it. I have to have it. Jason would come home sometimes. I was bad for a while with it. It would be like I couldn't be alone. So he would leave and he'd come home and I would be like crying. He'd walk in the door and I'd be crying, or I'd be like real like nervous, and he'd be like, what the fuck? Like, Jesus Christ, I've only been gone for 3 hours.
Yeah. I
couldn't be by myself because the distraction wasn't there. I had to have something. Like, yeah.
Does it take you a long time to go to sleep?
Oh, very. That's why I have to have that stuff on.
I'm like 45 seconds.
Really?
All I have to do is close my eyes. I don't even have to be in a bed. Like, I could be anywhere.
Really?
I think I might have some sort of mild narcolepsy. Like,
you might. I mean, but after when I went to the doctor when I was being sober, they give you sleeping pills because you're used to nodding out when you're on an opiate, right? So you're used to just like going to sleep, and then you're going through withdrawal and stuff like that. So you can't sleep, and you need it, right? So I won't take those. I won't take anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, even though it's the one they gave me was non-addictive. I just won't do it, and I don't like the way I feel when I wake up. I don't like the way I feel like if you're getting tired right now and you start to like nod off and you make yourself wake up, I don't like that.
Yeah.
It reminds me too much of when I was an addict, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, I have to have the TV on. I have to have some type of light or I cannot go to sleep. And it does take me a while, and I wake up about once an hour.
Really?
All night long.
Wow. That's James. He has
all
a hard
night
time.
long.
He has a hard time with silence. But he's the youngest of 7.
Whoa!
So, yeah, so I can't even imagine.
He's number 7?
Yeah. I can't even imagine the kind of chaos that is.
Oh my!
So
God.
he has to have the TV on. I don't like having the TV on.
Yeah.
But I don't like having, because sound affects my dreams. So like if he's watching, you know, Everybody Loves Raymond, and I'm dreaming about that, and like I don't want to dream about that.
That's so funny. That's hilarious.
So I used to have really bad sleep anxiety. It used to take me a really long time to go to sleep. Now it's just like, goodbye, do, like, and I'm done.
Do you like that one better?
Yeah. Yeah, like, and he's like, man, I wish I was like that, because he's got to roll this way, he's got to do this, he's got to do his pillow, he's got his blanket, you know, and I'm just like, you know.
So that's awesome. I wish I could too. Jason always, he jokes, he's like, you hate sleep. You hate sleep. I don't understand. Why don't you sleep? Because I'll get up at like, even on the weekends, like 6 a.m. and I'm like, gotta get up. I'll get up.
Yeah.
I can lay there. It's weird. I don't know.
I've become like an early bird, not early, but like I could see myself being one of those old people that just gets up at 6 a.m. just for the sake of waking up. I could see that happening.
For the sake of waking up, yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I do it when I wake up at 6. I could go back to bed.
You just want to be up.
I just want to be awake.
Yeah. But I was a sleeper. Like,
I don't like the dark. When you're sleeping, it gets dark.
As a teenager, though, I could easily sleep for like 16 hours. You know, when I was.
Absolutely. I was always like the one that didn't get up. Like, and I was a bitch when you woke me up. I was mean.
Yeah, I was too. And now, like, I wake up and I'm up.
Yeah, that definitely comes with age. But I like how you said that, for the sake of waking up. That's really cool.
And I'm one of those people that, like, you know, wake up, blah 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 blah, and James is like,
shut up. Yes,
I need like 3 hours to sit here and wake up, and I'm like, wake up, like, ready to go, like I'm ready.
Yeah, me too.
And he is not like that.
And I sleep like a vampire. The kids always make fun. I sleep like this. I'm always on my back, or I'm like this. And they would they make fun of me because I startle really easy.
I do too.
So
that's so
they get so mad. They were so mad. Like, they go, Mom. And I go like that. And they would jump, and Xavier, he'd get so mad. He would get so mad because he would be like, Mom, and then I'd do that thing, and it would scare him. And I remember one time he did it, and he was like, fucking wake up like that. He was so mad. He was like, fucking wake up like that. It's so funny. I can't help it. Like a vampire. Like someone's put a stake right in my heart.
I'm one of.
It's weird.
I'll be like, I'll like wake up and I'll be like, oh, I just had this dream that me and you were walking and we were doing this and doing that, and James would be like, you were just talking like 15 seconds ago. And I'm like, no, I had this dream and we had to go to the store and I couldn't find the milk, and he's like, you were just talking like 15 seconds ago, and I'm like, I had a full dream.
Did that yesterday. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go lay down a little bit. I'm kind of tired. He's like, okay, babe. And it was like 8 something. I'm like, I'm going to bed early, whatever. Fall asleep. And I remember I get up and I'm like, And I come out and I'm like, hey. And he's like, what are you doing up? And it was like a half hour. And I was like, hey, so what's going on? Oh, you're still watching the movie? He's like, you just left. It was so weird. So weird.
Power naps.
I never used to be able to do that. It's strange.
I feel guilt for napping now. I feel like I need to have a productive day. If I don't, I get real grouchy, and like I'll be up at like 9 o'clock and I'll start like picking up stuff and going through things because I need to have some sort of accomplishment. I can't be one of those people that just sits around on a weekend like it.
I don't like that either. I can't do that anymore. I used to be lazy when I was also
It makes me feel guilty. It makes me feel unaccomplished, and I can't. I'm not one.
Me too. But that I know that's from how my parents raised me. We were not allowed to sleep past 10. That was it. And if they had to wake you up,
it was like you're being lazy. You know what I mean? So, no, you're going to get up, you're going to be productive. We don't do this.
You gotta earn that sleep.
Yeah, it's wild, right?
Yeah.
That was their generation. It's perfect. It's perfectly said. You've had enough.
What'd
you do today to get so tired?
Yeah.
It's wild.
I still feel like I need to earn the right to sit there and do nothing. I need to earn it.
I agree.
Like,
same with me.
Like,
same with me.
You know,
it makes me feel selfish if I sit when I know that I could wash dishes or I could do something that I know I should have done.
Yeah, something that.
But I'm being lazy. I feel like I'm being lazy.
Something that I'm going to have to do anyway.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Or maybe we're just weird.
That's probably it.
Probably. I love you so much. So now that we've told all of our secrets.
All of them. That's only like.
I know.
A tiny bit.
I know. Oof. Maybe we have a weekly session. I'm serious.
That'd be fun.
We're going to come up with a title. Once a week, you and I.
Listen to us ramble about nothing.
All right, I'm going to wrap it up. Are you done?
I think so.
Whining about everything? Are you finished?
Was I whining?
No, I was though. All right, guys. Thank you so much. See you soon.